myself, Amer and Patrick outside.
Keep It Moving podcast. We talk about this man a lot on our podcast because not only did he change the game, the mixtape world, but he kind of broke a lot of doors for us to build our business back in 2004, 2005. DJ Whoo Kid. Clap.
Going on, man? Good.
What up?
He's not aged. He still looks the same.
Oh, man, I got a hat. I got my hair cut on Thursday. So I got this guy. He also trained LeBron James's barber to take care of LeBron's hairline. So he does my shit. So he be spraying my shit with ink. Fucking like I got like this fake hair that they put on the side, like the actors use. So you know when they get like the fake mustaches and the beards, they put it on my hairline. So it just looks like, and then he cut it, and then now I look like, you know, I could get a young bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So Whoo Kid, I want to start from like the mixtape era. Like I know you told this story 1,000 times, but like for our listeners that probably not as familiar with the mixtape scene, how important was it for you, your career, and how you started? How do you get into it? Just like let the listeners know, man.
I think dealing with 50 Cent, I used to do mixtapes as a hobby, and then I didn't know there was a marketing value to it until I linked up with 50 Cent. A mixtape is very vital because, you know, back then now people do albums in like fucking like a week and then they just drop it on fucking Spotify or whatever. But back then, the Snoop Dogg's and the Dr. Dre's and all them, they took like 6-7 months to like put out a project out. So 50 Cent, he was on that same shit too, because Get Rich or Die Trying, it took us, I don't know, maybe like 8 months or 7 months to do. But he didn't want to like be dormant in the studio working and then nothing is out there. So we decided to just steal everybody's fucking songs and do them over. That's what we had he had regular beef, but we even had beef with artists. Like we had people with L Cool J. I mean, like random people was like mad because they were playing like the Hot 97 or whatever. Any radio station was playing 50 Cent's version more than the single of the person that we stole from. Even though the person was still getting paid because we took the instrumental, we made them more money anyway. But at the end of the day, they were getting shuffled out the popularity spot because we took it over, and then they liked our version. And then back then, mixtapes was so hot that it kept us current, and then at the same time, it kept 50 Cent aware of who got what that's hot, what's hot, whatever. So while we're like working and cooking, we still like kicking ass out there with other people's shit, which is crazy.
And how was the business on that? Like, because these people will physically go and buy these.
Yeah, like I said, we made the artist money because at the end of the day, when you take the instrumentals from the artists, their spin cycle that we gave them, they made money. So at the end of the day, they shouldn't complain. But me, I was like dealing with the bootleggers and had every race. Like I had fucking the Irish mob, I had the Asians, I had like Europe, I had this European Irish dude that he would fly in from like Ireland and meet me, and then he'll just buy my masters and he takes it back. He'll buy it for like $3,000-$4,000. Then he'll just like sell it all over like UK and Ireland, and I never give a fuck until I fucking went to the labels, and then I upgraded it. I went into the distribution room. I was just being nosy, and then I saw that they had like this thick fucking store list where like Sony, Interscope, Def Jam, like all of them had this room that had like their own like distribution list where they would send the actual album to all the stores. And then I saw like fucking Tower Records and shit like that. Like those places don't exist anymore because we fucked it up with the technology. But there was no rules back then. There was no, like, I think me and 50 Cent created the cease and desist list for music because there was no rules. So, because imagine back then, the drug dealing was crazy too, because like cocaine cowboys and all that, there was no rules. Like they created the CIA Because can you imagine like 8 years or 10 years of selling drugs, but there's no rules, nobody knows what's going on, and they finally get caught by the CIA or FBI. So that's how we were. There was no rules with us. So imagine like, I just was curious. I took the list and I copied the whole list. I ran to this place called Kinko's in New York. It's a printing place where we used to do our mixtape covers. So I hurried up and printed it, and then I brought it back before they figured it was missing. So it's every store in America, every fucking mom and pop, so I just had like 2 Mexican kids, my ex-wife at that time, who was like my girl. So we needed like a soft voice to call all the stores, and then all she had to do, and plus she was like fucking, she's Japanese, so she's like all that weird shit. So she's mad fucking smart. So she's talking like she graduated from Cornell, so she's talking like very educational to these idiots that's in these mom and pop stores. So she actually sounded like a label. We didn't even know that we were a label. That we didn't know that we were acting like a label. We were just calling every store on that list until everyone hit. And then once they heard G Unit 50 Cent, they would buy like 10 CDs, 20 CDs. Then it came to a point where I had over like 300 stores I would do COD with. So then, so we just send this, every time I would drop, we would make sure that we mail them out first before because once I drop in the streets in New York, it's over. It's bootleg. Everybody has this. And then back then there was no internet. So the bootlegging, that means 50 Cent had to be super hot that if I drop it in the city and everybody has it, that's crazy. It's not like now where you could download it and then everybody has it in 2 seconds, But back then it's like I could not drop it in the city. So I would have to wait for my CODs to get there. And once they get there, I go like Friday, because everybody comes out on Friday, all the kids, high school, everybody comes out and they're searching for like new CDs. And then I had to watch DJ Clue also, because DJ Clue was like my arch enemy at that time. Not beefing, but if he drops, you really have to wait, But once I got into the 50 Cent shit, I didn't care if Clue dropped anymore because I had a one artist mixtape. You understand? So collecting the money was crazy because I was ODing. I had a yellow Lamborghini at that time. And I really didn't give a fuck. That tells you how much there was no rules, because I would put the mixtapes, because there wasn't even like CDs. I would put like boxes of mixtapes in my Lambo. And, it's in the front. So there's no trunk. So I would pop the front, put mad boxes in there, and I would drive to all the African spots, all Canal Street, Brooklyn, like all 5 boroughs. I would just drive around, collect money. And then once they saw my yellow Lamb, that was like kind of like my code, because I didn't, I don't want to waste my time texting them and calling them. So it's so busy out there. But once they see that yellow Lamborghini, they knew it was me. They're getting their money ready. Line. Yeah, they got their money ready. They hurry up and they take the box. But I didn't run and give it to them quick, because we weren't getting in trouble. There was no law. So I took my time. I used to send my ex-girl out there to pick up the money. Like she knew every African bootlegger. Like really, Africans is the reason why 50 Cent is big. Like they fucking bootlegged us so much that they bootlegged our bootleg. You know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't really for Africans, 50 Cent wouldn't be big. And I woke up when I went to Thailand, and I just went to a flea market in Thailand, and an African nigga saw me. He was like, "Holy shit, DJ Whoo Kid, I can't believe you're here." I was like, "DJ, how you know it's me?" He said, "Look, I have all your mixtapes right here." I was like, "I'm in fucking Bangkok." And this guy got all the G-Unit fucking mixtapes, and he's selling them like at the flea market. That's when I knew that this shit is crazy. Like this shit is everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
I remember like Q, God rest in peace.
World Star, yeah.
World Star Q. He was managing you or was involved in your business at some point, right? Early on.
We actually, me and him actually started World Star. But it was just a mixtape. He was selling my mixtapes at that time.
He reached out to me and was like, yeah, so we start talking. This is how we got into business. And I was a big fan of your mixtapes, because those G-Unit, they were hilarious, especially the Ja Rule ones.
Yeah.
Funny, kids, 50 just going in on him. And, like, it was just the momentum was fucking crazy. Like, in the UK, everybody was bumping 50 Cent G-Unit and the mixtape. So I was like, Q, I want to buy these mixtapes. And he was like, yo, you pay this, you get this, we'll give you that, we'll get Hooks to do a drop, we'll get this. And I think I brought maybe 50 mixtapes.
That's not early. That's really early. That's like before I even did anything. That's so early.
Before you ever came before you guys even came to Europe. So I was selling these mixtapes. I was going out flying in the clubs and I was trying to sell these mixtapes. And then when Get Rich Die Trying came out, I already had all these mixtapes. So I was going to these stores, like loads of people had record stores back then, those independent record stores. So I'd go there and I'll sell it to like £10, £5. So I was like, yo, let's flip. So I was selling all these mixtapes. So I got.
Wait, so you was bootlegging them as well?
I was. No. You know what I was doing? I was buying them, like, and selling them as they were, because I didn't know how to like get the covers done, and I wanted to be original. I wanted like people to be like, "Yo, this is from US," because remember at that time, everything from New York was big. So imagine you going with like, "Yo, these are Whoo Kids like mixtapes," and I got enough money that I said to Whoo Kid, "Yo, I want to." Q. I was like, "Yo, I want to book Whoo Kid now. I want to bring him to UK and do shows." And he's like, "Yo, give me 10 G's." I'm like, no. He's like, 10 G's, 2 business class flights. I'm like, 2 for who? Because me and him. I was like, "Yo, you can chill out, coach." And I remember, I think it was okay, so there's 2 stories here. Like, so there was another guy that was involved in your business, and I think you didn't fuck with him after that. So this is Get Rich Die Trying came out. 50 was a superstar. G-Unit was everywhere. You guys were touring, and I was just trying to book you. I wasn't trying to book G-Unit. I wasn't trying to book 50. I was just trying to get Whoo Kid. I was like, yo, if I can start with Whoo Kid, I know we're onto something, because this dude gets all the new music. If you can tell me, yo, he's going to play all the records. So there was a guy called John from London.
Oh my God, what a loser.
Right. So he's like, yo, I represent Whoo Kid. Yo, this story's facts. I've got the flyer for this. I'll put the flyer on the podcast. So he goes to me, yo, I'll represent Whoo Kid in London. Q had disappeared on me. I don't know what happened. So this is MySpace days. So you couldn't really like find people on social media. Like I couldn't go on Instagram and look for Whoo Kid. I had to go through like MySpace and stuff. So John was like, yo, I'll book Whoo Kid for you. I was like, cool. So I gave him the money. We put a flyer out. Everything was going.
What?
On the day of, he called me. He's like, yo, Whoo Kid can't do the show. I'm like, what do you mean Whoo Kid can't do the show? He's like, yo, so basically he's not allowed in the country. He made some bullshit up. But I have no access to you or Q. Q disappeared on me. So I was like, yo, if I cancel this event, I'm done. Like, my name is done. This is 2005, 4.
Damn.
So John was like, yo, like, I've got a friend who can DJ. And I was like, yo, fuck that. Have you got a friend that looks like Whoo Kid?
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, yo, I actually have. I said, yo, put him on the phone. Put me on the phone. I said, send me a picture. He sent me a picture. And I started talking to this guy. And he was a British guy. And I was like, yo, do you have a fake American accent? And then he started doing a fake American accent. I was like, yo, come. We're doing this party. We're going to do it. And then John was like, yo, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. Who Kid's going to be crazy? I said, yo, fuck you and Whoo Kid. Like, I need this to happen. He's like, yeah, but what happens if people find out? I said, yeah, no one's going to get close to him. We're gonna give him the G-Unit hat. Like, I went and bought G-Unit snapback, t-shirt, vest, everything. So, yo, this dude was like 6'6". He was a basketball player. So he comes to the club. This is Bedford. This is where I used to do my nights at. And I said, yo, just play G-Unit 50 Cent. Don't play nothing else. Like, you know me. I'm always telling the DJ what to play. He's like, yo, let me play the LL Cool J. I'm like, no, fuck all that. Play G-Unit. Because that's what people yo, the night was packed out. There's 1,000 people there.
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
Shit was packed out. And this dude played. 45 minutes later, I was like, yo, let's dip. And people were like, can I take pictures? I was like, nah, yo, we're bouncing. And yo, we go out the back door. I got him in the car. I gave him $500. I was like, yo, take that. Get the fuck out of here. And then I think a year later, 2 years later, I ended up doing a deal with you. You came over to Europe.
That's crazy.
London, we did Scotland. That's the first time I met you, but I never told you the story. Like, I didn't know what you were like. I thought like you might be a gangster.
Somebody sent me photos of him though, like DJing. This shit was funny as fuck.
That's probably what it was, yeah. And I was like, yo, Whoo Kid can't be mad at that. That's bootlegging what he does. It's a version of it.
That's mad that you got away with it though, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. I mean, there's been like 3-4 fake Whoo Kids all over. Like, there was a Spanish one. he said 50 Cent, but he's kept talking Spanish, so nobody wanted to believe him. And then I had like an Indian Whoo Kid too. Like it's crazy. Like he was in Hyderabad touring and shit, trying to do some shit. But I don't know why they thought I was Indian. Because I went to India one time. I did a tour in India, and I met this kid, and he put his hat backwards, and then he made believe that I stayed there. I decided to live in India. Like he everybody believed him. Like Whoo Kid is Indian, and he toured. He did like 4 or 5 clubs before he got.
And the thing that the best thing about getting you to come over was people were so gassed on your mixtapes when they finally got to see you physically perform. It was like you were talking shit on the mic. They were laughing. It was excited. It was good. This is before like social media. People got to understand, like people danced then, people were partying then, not like it is now. But people really enjoyed your sets. And then you had that fucking big ass chain, man. I think you had the buck one.
Yo, this guy was
the rolling wheel one.
Yo, Pat, this guy was so scared to go to the club with me, man. He thought we were gonna get killed, man. He always thought it was the last night. Like he'd be like, yo, put that shit away. I'd be
like, yo, you're walking around with diamonds and shit. And he's like, man, don't worry, we're from New York, man. Like, you gotta remember, we're in Scotland. We're in like Nottingham. We're in Scotland. We're in like London. We're in different places. And I just like. But what I realized about Whoo Kid was he's such an accessible, genuine person that people wouldn't want to rob him. They want to party with him.
I actually got a pass. Remember, I got a pass. There was a robber that came, I think, to Brixton or whatever. And then he came there to rob me. And then he met like another robber that I was with. And the robber told him, yo, don't fuck with Whoo Kid. Let's give him the pass. Don't rob him. I think Pat was with me at that time, I think.
I think you told me about it, yeah. I think it was after, and I met you after, and you told me.
But that's weird that robbers are like stopping other robbers from like only in London though. Like
no, but that's
kind of good, right? That's good that I'm getting like passes. Like yo, we don't need to rob him. Leave him alone. He's cool. Because remember that's the same time period where you told me that I should start fucking with because you know DJing clubs you can't get away from like seeing like the other songs that was killing the club. So if I see Skepta, I see fucking remember that Pow song, that Pow, and I used to say Pow. And it's so ironic that he actually did like a remix version with my name on it because I always used to say Pow, you know. But you used to tell me, yo, I gotta start fucking with UK artists. So my value becomes bigger when I come back because you know. You don't want to be the New York DJ that keeps coming back and play all the fucking shit and leave. And then it's like, you don't give a fuck about the culture in London or wherever. So I took that same concept that you told me. And then I did like all the French artists like Booba. I did fucking Irish. I did Asian. I just finally did an African guy, Nasty C. So now I got a DNA in Africa, but that's from the experience of like, doing all the UK guys. And now you see all the UK guys are out of here, like Gig, Skepta, Tiny Temple. I put Tiny Temple with Wiz Khalifa in New York because he was one of the first ones to come to New York. I had Skepta. Yeah. You know me, I'm a pervert. Like I have the video of Skepta under pussy. Like he was the mechanic on my show. Like I don't even want to put that video out. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a different man now. He's very respected, but he was like the mechanic. Like because I had this thing where I had bitches with their booties up. Because I used to have Cardi B stripping. Little does he know, that same show he was on, Cardi B was stripping on my show. You know what I'm saying? But that's when she was a stripper. And then I did this thing called the on-air pool party. So I had all the famous like strippers of New York come and I give them $150 each to do whatever. And then I wanted to make Skepta look like to impress him because he's coming from the UK. So I wanted him to go back with the ultimate memory. You know what I'm saying? So he don't even remember this shit, but I think he was under, who's now Fetty Wap's baby moms. Like, but he was the mechanic. Like, he was under the pussy, you know, like we used to call it under the hood. But I have this video. I'm not putting it out because Skepta's a different man now. You know what I'm saying? Like, very respected. So I'm like, I believe that for my like Netflix movie or some shit, man. But even Skepta would tell you, man, he had a great time and he went back and I stood up like to the legends of what I do in America. Like my show is not like, you know, I always laugh at, you know, Tim Westwood and all these guys, how they do their shows and shit. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck kind of radio show is this? Everybody's talking proper, no cursing, no naked bitches and shit. I'm like, this is whack. So I had to like bring these guys down to where I'm at, and they experience like my real like Howard Stern type shit in America. But you know how I am in the clubs. It's the same everywhere I go. The energy is the same. Like, yo, Amer's been telling me, yo, you gotta chill, man. This is a corporate event. This is like, this is the queen's nieces. They're here.
He's like, fuck that.
Matt, we've done so much legendary random shit, but Amer always was the angel on my shoulder. Like, he always be like, yo, you gotta chill, man. I know you be wilding out, and I do. You know, I don't want to know how you guys. I mean, you guys never had a divorce back then, but I was wilding out with the hoes. You know what I'm saying? I was going crazy. Yeah. I was going crazy back then.
Yo, so the time you were collaborating with the UK acts, we did a collaboration with the Wiley mixtape, and then you went on tour.
Oh my God, yo!
So Wiley actually came to Whoo Kid's shows that we put together, the tour.
But it was a Whoo Kid and Wiley mixtape tour, right?
Yeah.
Both of y'all had heart attacks, man. Both of y'all had like 8 heart attacks every day.
We was like, yo, have you spoken to Wiley yet? He's like, yeah, he's coming.
You know what it is? Because you guys got the money. Y'all got all the money for all the shows. And y'all did not want that shit to get fucked up. And it was perfect until the last show in his own city, which was like, we slept. We should have just did everything we did every day. Like, we called him, we make sure he ain't drunk or whatever, or he ain't.
He was there before us. He used to turn up waiting outside the club by himself.
Yeah. He was there. He was there. He was there before us. Like, he'd be at the club. Yeah. So, but I kind of like stressed him out. Like, I was like, yo, I heard about your, because remember, he didn't come to Tim Westwood's show. Tim West was like, yo, I bet you like $1,000 this nigga's not coming up here. You know what I'm saying? And he never even showed up. And I was like, what is going on here? We're about to go on tour the next day. And he didn't even come to like the biggest radio show to promote. Like, I had to promote the tour. People were like, even Tim West was like, yo, man, it's a miracle if you get him to go like to at least one show. But when he did one show, he did the second show, the third show, the fourth show. I was like, yo, all of us was calm. We were like, yo, he's gonna do the last show. The last show is his town, where he's from. Why would we need to call him? It was like
the final hurdle, man, and then my card.
It was sold out, right?
What was his excuse? What was his excuse for not coming?
He said he drunk. He fell asleep. That's it.
He said he fell asleep. Yeah.
Was he watching telly or something like that, and he fell asleep?
He said, but I like his honesty though. He was like, I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah. I got drunk and I fell asleep, and I woke up like 3 a.m, and I was like, okay.
Listen, 9 out of 10 for Wiley is a big deal.
Trust me,
big deal. And he did the mixtape, he did all the shows. It was sick.
We brought gigs out to one of the shows too. Remember?
Yeah.
And then you done a mixtape after that with Gigs, right? And Tiny Temper.
Yeah, I did Gigs. I did Gets. And
Gets, yeah.
I did another artist too. I did like almost like 8 artists in the UK, and most of them.
And to our listeners, that Whoo Kid was the first one to make that happen, that connection.
Whoo Kid's one of the pioneers of mixtapes. Like,
facts.
Like, what people need to understand is like the reason we speak a lot about him in the first couple of episodes is when he was putting these mixtapes out. That's what got us like listening to it and thinking, yo, like this guy's got no format. This is just like, yo, we're gonna put a bunch of songs together. We're gonna steal people's beats. We're gonna curse people the fuck out. Especially like 50s, obviously always been a gangster. Like. You just like, okay, and then the marketing behind it, like just visuals, funny pictures, like Whoo Kid's face and everything. So you're just like, okay, right, there's something going on here. Like we need to get involved in this because it was so new. Because you couldn't go to Interscope and say, yo, let's work together. They'd be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. But I knew like, yo, what Whoo Kid was doing, and then Green Lantern, DJ Drama, Clinton Sparks, Mick Boogie, all these guys basically was following that kind of like blueprint. And I feel like Whoo Kid was the first one there. And then when Whoo Kid, you finally meet him, you realize, yo, he's easygoing, he's accessible, he's willing to work, he's willing to fuck with everybody, and he's a likable person. So I think a lot of artists to this day on still fuck with Whoo Kid because he's that guy.
Bro, I be talking to Gigs like every 3 weeks, maybe we text each other or he call me, FaceTime me. He's always like relaxing somewhere, like shit like that. But it's good to have those kind of relationships. So when you go to London, you're well taken care of.
You remember we went to that restaurant in
like the Caribbean.
Gigs took us.
Yeah.
Gigs took, and you got drunk, and Gigs got you mad drunk before
Bro,
the show.
Before the club.
Yeah, he was drunk.
I was lit. And then it's funny, you took me, it was Pat that took me to some club, and then we weren't supposed to go there, and Tekashi was in there, remember? And I was like, yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here. You gotta DJ. I'm getting fucked up with Tekashi. I think it was Tekashi and A Boogie with the hoodie. So Pat was like, yo, Whoo Kid's enjoying himself too much. Because, for me to see like some New York motherfuckers, like that's like, it's like the coolest shit. So I was like, Amer ain't gonna care if I get to the club late. Pat was like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here, man. This is crazy, man. Tekashi and what's her name was there? What's that? The girl rapper? Steph London. Yeah, Steph London was there. So I was kicking it with her.
I tape.
Yeah. So it was a good look, but I always respected music in general. So I always wanted to like assimilate to figure it out. And thank God I do radio. So not only am I the first to do their tapes, but I'm the first to play them in America, because my show is like Tim Westwood's show. The whole America listens to my show. Just like the whole UK listens to, Tim or
Charlie Sloth.
But another thing is I have access to any radio show all over the world too. Like if I go to Japan, I go to the best show there, and then there's no scheduling. I'll be like, yo, I'm in town, and they let me up there. If I'm in fucking, I go to BBC, I'm in town, they want me up there. So I took full advantage of like, having these accesses and respecting the music of each culture. Same shit in France. If I go to France, I'm with Cut Killer, and everybody's so it's. I think I've always been blessed to understand the marketing aspect and grow with the technology, where now is like, I'm doing like Japanese now, I'm doing Korean, I'm doing like fucking, because it's like these DJs in America, they're just like, they staying in one box. I've never wanted to be in that box. That's why I'm so busy. I have so much shit going on. And I designed my radio show, like, come on, I have Eminem as my boss. So I designed it for like 15 years where I could play anything on there. So if I'm playing like Gigs, who's like very British and the accent is damn near right there, people just like the fact that it's something new. Like whoever's tuned into my show is outside the box too, instead of it being regular Hot 97, where they're like, yo, what the hell's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So I designed my show to be like that. And then I'm all over the world. One day I'm here, I'm in China, like literally the next day, Dubai the next day. So I'm already cultural. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm like connected with the planet in a certain way. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird in a certain way, you know what I'm saying? But you just gotta have an ear. You just gotta have an ear for music and respect, like, you gotta respect like dubstep. You gotta respect EDM. You gotta respect like trance. I remember I went to fucking, I went to Transylvania one time. They have their own different kind of like, house music there. You can't just be playing EDM. So, but I'm not stupid. I don't mind learning. So wherever I go, I link with the biggest DJ there. Like, the DJ tells me, you remember, I'll be, yo, Pat, who the fuck is here? I need to know what I got.
Yeah, you need to know what's going on, what to play. Yeah.
I'm not scared of learning. And then at the end of the day, you'll tell me like, all right, these are the 20 guys that's kicking ass here. But I'm gonna choose what I think in my head I want to play. I'm not just gonna play them because they're hot. I'm still gonna have my creative choices with the mix that I do. And you see that promoters all over the country, all over the world, love me because when I come there, they sell bottles. Because at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about the DJ, man. They care about you standing there. You bring in soccer players, you bring in celebrities, and you sell bottles. If you don't sell no bottles, you're not getting booked. I don't give a fuck who you are.
You're out of here.
You know what I'm saying? Later. That's what I buy. And I'm a cool guy. I always send you guys other DJs, and then you guys always hit me back. Yo, fuck that nigga, man. Fuck him, yo. I'm never fucking with him. But hey, I'm a good guy. But a lot of DJs don't understand that. They want to be themselves. They want to play what they like. And then you know me. I sacrifice everything to play for the people that's there. Whether it's rich white kids, crazy like African kids, you took me to Indian clubs, you took me like all kinds of shit, like everywhere. Everything that I fucking like Asian spots, like you kind of like taught me to like assimilate in all these like locations where it makes sense. And I took it with me because remember, UK was the first place we went. It was South Africa, then UK. And then I took all that shit and all that knowledge and I took it to China. You remember China, they don't speak no English. Yeah. You're in Taipei, and Chinese motherfuckers jumping up and down to anything. But you just, that nigga's just like, my boy was like, just play crisscross. Just play crisscross. Niggas are still like, they don't care. But it's like, you have to, I can't be playing Jay-Z because they don't give a fuck about Jay-Z over there. I gotta play fucking Bieber. I gotta play, like all the top 50 top pop songs. I wouldn't play Bieber in your club. I wouldn't play fucking, Britney Spears, and then you guys look at me like I'm crazy because I'm in a club that's popping bottles. But in China, you gotta have a straight pop set. But I had to like sacrifice what I think is hot, so people keep booking me. A lot of people be like, "Yo, Whoo Kid don't DJ, Whoo Kid don't cut, Whoo Kid don't scratch." But guess what? Whoo Kid constantly gets booked. Even now with Corona, niggas are trying to book me. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to die out here.
Like, yeah, still stay at home, man.
Yeah, I'd rather just die here. I'd rather just chill here. I'm not gonna be DJing and 1,000 people. I get locked up and all this stupid shit. They're locking people up out here, like, and then it's never like a good look. Like, even if you do an ill party and there's 1,000 people and it's crazy, and you put it on your Instagram, now, oh my God, this coronavirus, COVID, like, why would you do that? This is wrong. People, like, they gotta go home to their mother, people getting sick. So it's always like a bad vibe. I want to DJ because I'm thirsty, but at the end of the day, I'd rather be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, the private sector is where it's at now, So I'm assuming Amer is getting into that now because Dubai, Dubai is like paying like Drake just to come to like a private C16, 200,000-300,000, like, and have a DJ there, 5,000, 10,000. So you might as well just do that,
Yeah, I think that the live business is definitely gonna.
How's the club? How's the clubs in the UK? Still shut down? Still shut?
Yeah, everything shut down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we have to, like, that. The good thing about this Corona shit, I have 7 things going on right now that I would never think of doing.
Exactly.
And I'm making money, and I lost. I ain't gonna front. I lost like 180,000 because I had 6 residencies this year. Like, I was gonna do Atlantic City. You know how they do live on Sundays?
Yeah.
We're gonna do Atlantic City Sundays. Like, I was gonna do Who Army Sundays or whatever name we're gonna call it. I was supposed to do every Sunday. I had Toronto, I had Dubai, and then I had Miami and Vegas, like, locked. So my money was set. Corona came, fuck you. It just shut everything down. So I had to like figure other shit to do. But now I have 7 things. So the thing that's cool, when the vaccine comes out, I think it's gonna come out in the UK. I heard you guys got it already. I just but once the vaccine comes the fuck out, I'm gonna have 7 things plus the fucking clubs. You know what I'm saying? And then the fucked up thing is, when is it gonna stop though? Because I'm like fucking 50. When the fuck is this shit gonna stop? Like, I don't understand. Am I gonna have a heart attack like in the DJ booth with y'all with pussy and shit? Like, I think but I'd rather go out like that. If I gotta die in DJ booth with some pussy and Patrick is trying to like wake me up, I hope he don't do mouth to mouth, but just punch me in my chest.
Not me, bro.
Yeah, just punch me in my chest, man. I don't know, man. But, it's crazy. But you gotta admit, even Amer told me a million times, like, he doesn't understand why, like, all these other whack DJs is out there. They just don't, like, what am I doing that's so incredible? I'm not doing nothing crazy here. Very simple.
Just for the record, I never called anyone whack DJ.
Yeah, whatever.
I respect the DJ.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for a very long time. You've traveled around the world. You sold shitloads of mixtapes. A lot. People, like, these are like, even now, people can't sell those units to what you were selling back then. What's the future now for you? What do you want to do? Like, I know you've always a guy who's creative. You're always releasing like some piece of clothing, or you're doing some kind of like new technology shit, like with your radio show as well. What is the future for Whoo Kid?
Right now, the guy that does Hot Ones, he's like the producer. He's actually gonna be producing my show now. So I got a TV show that they're putting, like, it's kind of like a night interview style TV show. which is it's kind of like connected with Coachella because I was supposed to do Coachella this year. I was supposed to do like a clubhouse where I interview and everybody turn up at the clubhouse, and then whichever artist I'm with, I go on stage with the artists that I'm gonna have the show with. So now Coachella got pushed to April, so I gotta wait till then, I guess, to solidify all that. But yeah, I think TV and or anything that's kind of like viral online television style interviews shit is where I'm going next, because I do a lot of wild interviews and a lot of artists are comfortable. So because of the relationships I have with them, so it's not like Q&A, and sometimes they talk crazy or sometimes it's cool, but it's always like a great interview. So the guy was like, yo, why don't we just like format this for like Netflix or format this for like, HBO or something crazy. So I'm working on that right now, and that will be next for me, and that should be the big finale. I'd say with my barber, I probably got like 2 years left for my hair is my hair. Yeah, we already did research on how long my hairline is.
Do what Tiger and the Toilets did, man. What was that stuff? Get that shit in you.
I don't know if I can do all that. That's like 100 racks, man.
Still one of your cars, man.
I'd rather just get a car. Fuck it, man.
Yo, this shit looks crazy, doesn't it? Like Tiger's.
Shit is wild, man. But I think marketing. I'm gonna be a marketing genius because I seem to know the map of the music industry because I fuck with like Steve Rifkin. I fuck with all the execs now. Mm-hmm. So now instead of me flipping and dealing with idiot artists, I'd rather just fuck with the people behind them. So I'm cool with all of them, and I got labels. Because if you, I don't know if you peep my Instagram, you'd be seeing like Def Jam reposting me. Def Jam is like, like Sony, Atlantic Records. So I decided to go that route. I shouldn't even be saying this because I don't want DJs, but at the end of the day, DJs didn't grow up with all the people that's like A&Rs or head execs or presidents of these. Even if they try to copy, those presidents are gonna be like, yo, get the fuck out of here, man. Because I was there when they were losers. That's why you can't diss nobody in the music industry, because a guy who's a loser this year could be like the president next year. So I've always been like a humble guy that's like, not to say that I'm I could sense a loser from a mile away, but at the end of the day, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be dissing people like that. But 20 years in, and these guys are like presidents and they're running shit, they have a different respect for me because I actually was there in the beginning and looked up to them and gave them like tips and shit like that. So now some of them make more money than me. That's why I fuck with. If you ever see it, I'm always with like Diplo. I'm always with fucking like Tiesto or like Calvin Harris and shit like that. Like Steve Aoki. I toured with Steve Aoki. Like I feel like relationships is a relationship is the way to survive the industry. It doesn't matter how old you are. And at the end of the day, the industry is symbolic anyway. So that's why you always used to like push my logo, push my photos. So symbolism kind of like keeps you like current. But at the end of the day, if you don't got no relationship and this is proof. Like promoters be like, yo, Whoo Kid is the illest. They don't even look at the age anymore. They don't look at they don't look at race. They don't look at color. All they look at is green, like the money. Like the money, I don't know what color your fucking shit is over there, but they look at that color and they see that this shit came when I came there. The racialness is over. There's no race like issues or he's black or he's whatever. It's all about like, all right, DJ Whoo Kid. All they remember is Whoo Kid. Whoo Kid came here, it was popping. We want to book him again. Let's wait for like 2-3 months because you guys are crazy. Yeah, you be telling me people can't keep coming back and shit. It's not like here, Vegas. I do Vegas 3-4 times a week, man. Like shit they don't care. People are turning up every day. People do drugs. Whoo Kid is the best night of their life, man. It's over, man. You've seen it, man. But at the end of the day, I think the relationship is the reason why I'm still like current and I'm cool. And you have to have the full 360 now. Like I've DJ'd all the fashion parties. I've been to Italy. Like I fuck with like, Armani. I got like, a lot of like designers that fuck with me, and I DJ for Mercedes.
Yo, Whoo Kid is so connected, P. One day we went to Nobu, right? Me, Whoo Kid, and a few friends of ours, right? Yeah. I gotta tell you the story. Let me tell you the story. We get to the front door and they're like, "Nah, sir, you can't come in because I think you had like shorts or something on." I said,
Yeah, I had jean shorts and I had like some Yeezys.
Yeah,
I was looking cool.
the guy was like, "You can't come in," and Whoo Kid was like, "Yo, man, what the fuck? Like, I know Nobu." He was like, "Okay, mate," and he's like, "Yo, is he?" Whoo Kid's like, "Is he in there?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Call him." I was looking at Whoo Kid's face like, "Yo, bro, do you really know him?"
I hope you know.
Like,
Yeah.
bro, we're gonna look crazy.
But this is the funny thing is, Amer was like, because I was being like an ignorant Negro on purpose. I was like, nigga, get that nigga over here right now. Yo, they were like, yo. So they went in there, and then he so believed that I did not know this guy.
Everybody in the front door was looking at Whoo Kid like, yo, who are you, man? You're talking
Who
shit.
the hell is this guy?
Yo, I was thinking, yo, Whoo Kid, are you telling the truth? Like, are we gonna get beat up right now?
We almost took him to the club that night. If he didn't have to go to Africa, he had to go to South Africa. His flight was 6 a.m. So he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna come because the clubs you book me are cool. It's not like some shit. So I would have had to go. Can you imagine Nobu? That would have been the first ever Nobu.
Liberty, that would be crazy.
That would have been crazy.
He came out. I was like, "Yo, Whoo Kid?" And Whoo Kid was like, "Yo, I told you motherfuckers."
Then he's cooking for us. He's like, "What do you want?" I was like, and then remember at the end, but I could have been a piece of shit and be like, "Yo, fuck out of here." But I still laughed with the dude, and I told him, I told the dude, "Yo, I was fucking with you." You know what I'm saying? Because I do this because I'm not from here. I'm from. You hear my accent, so obviously you can't give me the dress code rules. If you hear it, I'm not from here. I just got here.
That's right.
And I want to eat different. Yeah, I'm from America, yo. And then it's not like I look like a bum with Timberlands, like I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, I wear Timberlands. What's wrong with Timberland, man?
You're gonna upset Tory Lanez, man.
Tory Lanez over here. Patrick Lane. Fuck out of here. But those stories are endless. It's always like that.
Yo, Whoo Kid, you gotta give us one 50 cent story, man. Like, because this is how we became familiar with you. Like, this is how we got to know you. But you gotta give us one 50 cent story because there's so many.
Where there was Whoo Kid in Manchester at the time when you had that issue?
Yo.
I was upstairs with the hoes.
These guys all left. Now we're gonna get into a fight. And then Whoo Kid called me like, "Everything cool, man?" But Whoo Kid got this like, "Everything cool." I'm like, "Bro, then he gotta fucking take it out." Like, he's a Banks fucking trying to get extra bottles. And then 50 came out. Did you know that 50 came out the hotel?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like Diesel and everything.
50's a real gangster, man. Like, he's really bad.
50's crazy because I remember when I had to like physically meet him for the first time. I was really scared to see him because he got shot the fuck up. So the bullet they said went in his face, like, and came out the other side. So I thought it was like The Walking Dead. So I was like, damn. And my cousin was like, "Yo, you gotta go see him. If he wants to hire you to be the DJ." Like, I was like, I'm gonna get hired. First of all, I didn't even think I was like trying to be his DJ. Like, what are you telling me right now? This is before he even blew up. Yeah. They were like, "What year? You're my cousin. You're gonna be the fucking DJ."
What year was that?
This is like when he got shot up. Like, I forgot what year. It was like
1 or 2 or something.
3 or 2, whatever. This is when he got shot.
Your
up.
cousin was at the label, right? It's at the label.
He was like, Shaw Money XL was like, after he got shot, he was like, "Yo, I don't want to hire like a DJ. I just want a family member to be the DJ. I don't care if they don't know how to DJ. People are trying to like fuck with us, or we're gonna kill somebody, or somebody trying to kill us. It has to be a blood relative."
But Who Kid explain to the people how real it was with the whole G Unit movement? Like, people were trying to kill you.
It was crazy. I mean, they tried to kill his ass, and then at the end of the day, they fucking they got me a vest. How real it was, I got a vest on the day I got hired. They gave me a bulletproof vest.
That's how you know it's real, when you get the vest.
Yeah, like they were like, "Yo, we have 300 shows, so if you have a wife or a girlfriend, tell her fuck out of here when you're not gonna be home." Yo, that's why he told me. He said, "Yo, If you got a wife or a girl, you live with her, tell her fuck out of here. You're not gonna be home like 6 months. We have 300 shows, and we have like some days it's like 3 shows in one day. Like we did every hood club in America, shootouts, people dying. Like Get Rich or Die Trying, the guy dying in back. That's real. Like somebody, it's not obviously like we did go and perform while the dead body was back there, but they redid the Get Rich or Die Trying in a different way. Like his enemy got killed, and then he performed, but it was a random person that got killed, and then the promoter was like, yo, if 50 Cent cancels, more people gonna get killed. So we still had to perform. Like we had to perform in that shit so other people don't get killed. The police.
Nowadays the artists get threatened, they don't come to the club.
Yeah, they don't even show up. Like that's why, I be laughing. I mean, I'm not gonna diss like artists like like Nas. They're like legends and shit like that. But we went to like Iraq. Like for the troops, they were like, yo, we want like a big artist to come here, and all of them canceled. They were scared to go. 50 Cent was like, we out. I was like, what? Go to Iraq? Fuck out of here, yo. And then we landed in Kuwait, and then the fucking jumbo jet landed, and they're taking out all the dead troops out. And I'm like, yo, this is real, yo. They're taking and that's the same jet we're getting on next. So they had to take their bodies out. They took the coffins out because they sent them to America to do the proper funeral or whatever. So they put them on the plane we got on, and then we got on the plane that the dead bodies was on, that people were dying every day out there in Iraq. So when we got on there, they put bulletproof vests on us again. They put it on my ass too. I had like 3 vests. I had one in my front, I had one on the side, and they put it on my ass because they, I guess the enemy just keeps shooting at the planes going by. So you don't want, how big those bullets are. You don't want that shit going through the plane and then you get shot in the ass. So they put a vest. I'll never forget that day. The guy was like, the general, or I guess it was like the assistant general was like, yo, you might die today. So like he told us straight up. He said, if a missile hit the base or if you hear any kind of shooting, don't run around. People who run around are the ones that get killed. Just go down slow and lay, and then just hopefully you don't get hit.
Hope for the best, yeah.
No, can you imagine they're telling you this, like, before you get there to do the show? I was like, I'm looking at Lloyd Banks, like, he looked like, Lloyd Banks like he about to cry and shit. I got this infamous photo where 50 looked like he saw, like, the devil, fucking Saddam Hussein, fucking Dracula, like, he saw, like, 8 scary motherfuckers at the same time with the biggest shotgun ready to kill him. Like he was like, this is some real ass shit. We thought it was Bob Hope. We thought it was like people with like flags waiting for us. It was some real shit when we got there. And then the troops respected us because everybody canceled on them. They're out there risking their lives and their friends. Like you have a friend today and then your friend died the next day. So we were like, fuck it. 50 was like, yo, we going there. And then that's the first time. I mean, I've seen it many times after because we've toured all over Africa. Because Africa is the only place you see people with AK-47 shooting in the sky while we're performing. You know what I'm saying? But the troops was the first one. Like the U.S. Army was like, when we did What Up Gangsta, AKs, Uzis was like, I was like, yo, don't their bullets gotta come the fuck back down? Yo, what the fuck are they doing, yo? I had like a helmet on. I never DJ with a helmet. I had the helmet. I had like, it was like 130 degrees out there in Iraq. I almost died.
Any footage of that?
Bro, I was like, it was ridiculous, man. And then our security guard tried to be tough. He tried to stay outside because they had us in a trailer. So the general came and he gave us medals and shit, and he hugged us for doing it for the troops. And all of a sudden we heard like boom, 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 boom. And then we opened the door, and then both our security guards was unconscious because it was like 140 degrees. So they didn't have like, the troops that, they have water. They have like, you have to constantly drink water. So they have like little tubes that's out there, like suits and shit. So these guys didn't have no water. These guys fainted. We had to drag them in the fucking trailer, like, and smack them and wake them up and give them water. They were trying to be tough. Like, come on in. There's nothing to prove here. Like, it's kind of crazy. And then when it's time to leave, missiles hit the runway. So we were stuck there. Like for like another 2 hours, and then we finally took off. But you gotta understand, like when you're on those jets, it don't land like the way you land when you're on fucking.
They just get down in it. They just get down as quick as possible.
You're on British Airways, and the shit's nice, and you know, you got your coffee, and you know, you let this shit is like it goes like this. You know, the shit is going like 200 mile per hour at the land because they're shooting at us. Like they're randomly shooting at us, like because we're flying over Iraq, over the enemy. So you can imagine like this, and then and I'm looking at Banks like, I'm looking at fucking 50 like, I hate you. I'm like, I hate you. And then the plane goes like this. It goes sideways. It goes like this. Like, and so you see the window, but then you see the floor through the window. You see the floor. Bro, it's like, yo, I'm not even making this shit up. The shit is like this. And we're all screaming in there. Like, the shit is going, like, the dude was like, I remember the army guy. He's like on top of it. Yo, get ready. We're going down. Yo, we landed like, I was like, what the fuck? Yo, after all that shit, guess where we went next? Dubai. First time in Dubai. So I went from Iraq to 20 girls. The prince got me, like the prince's son got me 20 girls to fuck. Can you imagine going from all that? And then you go to Dubai for the first time. We were at that, you know that shit, the sale, the famous, the birds, yeah. Can you imagine they gave all of us suites, the barber, the fucking bag handler, everybody had the same room. Nobody had a whack room. And then I went in my room because I had to DJ the after party. And then the prince's son, who owns the club, had 20 girls in my room. And then I'm like, yo, what am I, a fucking porn star? I can't fuck all. I picked 2, and I called the whole crew to come get the girls. And then Banks is over here trying to keep lyrics. I'm like, yo, bro, you pay for them. What are you? Oh, I'm from Queens. And,
yo, this is a.
You know, I'm from.
You don't have need to talk.
What are you talking about?
Yo, this is a family podcast. We don't want to talk about those things.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it real here, man.
I apologize. Listening to this.
It's a family. Yo, you gotta like fuck to have a family, right?
Yo,
fuck, man.
So, Whoo Kid. Yo, moving on. You met Gaddafi, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. A few times.
And is that same time you met Michael Jackson with Gaddafi? Was that, or am I mixing it?
No. Gaddafi separate. Gaddafi, I DJed like some of his parties separate, like his sons. I DJed for a lot of his sons, like Junior. I DJed like 3 parties for his, I think his 3rd son. And then one of them we actually went to Venice, and that's where I met him, Gaddafi, and another.
Yo, didn't Gaddafi or his son brought like 50 Cent's outfit, and 50 just took all his clothes off and gave it to him?
Yeah, the son. He was like, that was in Venice. That's when I first met him. We did like a billionaire party for him, like all billionaires. Like this shit was crazy. Like we went in there, and then I'm not gonna talk about one of the gangster rappers that's with us, but I went to go. I gotta go do sound check, so I went out there to do the tuning. But I went there, and then I went back to the dressing room, but then I forgot something, so I went back out there to get it. But while I'm going back out there, there's a nosy gangster rapper that's with us. So he goes out there, he's ahead of me. So he doesn't see that I'm behind him. And then one of the billionaire guys, just start kissing him in his face and his mouth and shit like that. So I turned my head like, I act like I didn't see him because he's bad gangster.
I'm talking about the 50 Cent.
No, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. But
unless you're gonna give us a name, then
please reveal.
It wasn't no tongue kissing or that. It was just like you know how people overseas kiss each other like at times. Like, all right. So anyway, we went back to the room. I escaped because I didn't want him to see that I saw that. So when I run back to the room. Gaddafi comes in there. His son was like, "Yo, I don't want to disrespect you, but I want your whole outfit. Like, I saw that leather unit military thing you had, and I don't want to respect you, but I'm gonna wire $350,000 to your account." And then 50 Cent was butt ass naked. And like, and I'm like, I got some G's here for like 20K, man. I got some G's, yo. And he started laughing and shit, but I think he really wanted the leather outfit. And then we did another show in Rome, and he came to meet us, and then he had the outfit on. But the funny thing, he's skinny as fuck, so the outfit, you know, so he looked like we call him like a wet raisin. The nigga looked like a raisin, you know. Like the shit was like sagging. The G was like down here, like because you gotta be like big. You gotta be big to wear it. But it's like a skinny guy wearing like because you can't like shrink that. It's leather. The whole outfit was leather. So you can't shrink.
So 50 was like, yo, just take it. Give me the money.
Bro, we went back on, you know, because you know in Venice there's boats, so there's no cars. So I'm on those like mini boats going back to the hotel with him. This guy's in white underwear, white socks, butt ass. He was like, yo, fuck that. And then we were with that famous tennis player, Karnikova. What's
Russian
her name?
one.
The Anna Kournikova.
Yeah, she was with us laughing. Me and her was laughing at 50. And this nigga's like, yo, and then sure enough, $350,000 in the account, man. That shit's crazy.
That's wild, man.
But that's only like one of the times. That's like one of the moments, you know. We've had like African leaders come in like the suitcases with like 300 G's, 400 G's. Yo, come to fucking, you know, Angola right now. And then 50 be like, yo, we are with Angola. I'm like, yo, man. We're going home today, man.
Did you ever meet the guy? Did you ever meet the guy in Angola that kidnaps people, takes their passport away?
Hostage. Scoop told us a story about how he was held hostage. But every time Fat Man Scoop asked for his passport, he gave him 10 racks. He was like, yo, I'll go tomorrow. He got 10 racks. He ended up like 40 racks. There's like Akon came to the party too, and Akon was like, don't worry, man, we'll be okay.
That happened to him in Beirut too. I did a party in Beirut, and then I DJed in Beirut a lot. I DJed in Beirut like 4 or 5 times, and then the one time I told, he called me. He was like, "Yo, is this cool to go there?" I was like, "Yo, it's amazing. It's great." I mean, the Beirut I went to, you know, the missiles hit the buildings. You could see like the holes in the buildings where the war was or whatever, but people still party. Like the club is still there. They had me. They had like Diplo like a week before me. So I thought it was cool. So I told Fat Man Scoop, yo, go there, get that money, man. So he goes there, and then all of a sudden, some federal, I guess the country's security went to his hotel, was like, yo, you can't leave. They held him for 2 weeks because his last name is like Jewish or some shit. I don't know, like his last name is weird. So they kept him there. And then they investigate, like they didn't even tell him anything. He was like, I'm never fucking going there. Like, you know, they had like, he was like eating, he thought he was gonna get killed, but he was in a hotel. They kept him, they didn't lock him up, but they kept him in the hotel, so he can't leave it. I think he's the only one that goes through that shit. Why does he go through this shit all the time?
And he's the nicest guy. He's the nicest guy on the planet.
Whoo Kid, what's your views on the current state of hip hop today compared to the time, the G Unit era?
I think it's kind of like, I was part of like a legendary group, so it's hard to ask me that question because I was always lit. I was always on MTV. I did Top of the Pops. I did all this fucking touring. We did every TV show. So we were lit and on our own, and I wasn't paying attention to like other people's careers.
Yeah.
So I only paid attention to like, you know, like Snoop Dogg, Ludacris, shit like that, like the top of the top. Like, we always was the shit. So it's, now. The only thing is technology. Technology got these kids lit. Like, you know, I do all the
it makes them lit quicker, innit?
And remember, the music is different now. So the 808 kick, the bass. Back then, everything was like, you know, my era was gangster rap, kind of like. So definitely a difference in music. You know, our music is like militant style. Like when we perform, we see Eminem, 100,000 people. Hands in the air, back and forth. So we had a militant style, but now it's amazing that I even assimilated to that style, like to deal with like the South Sides, the Metro Boomin, all these. So I have to like, all these young kids was under me too. Like, you know, they all like looked up to me. So now I had to convert to their shit where the new white kid or the new kid itself, because we call them white kids, because white kids be turning the fuck up like like a rock. It's like a fucking type. Like it's crazy. It's with 808s and the bass. That's why they don't really care about the lyrics too much. Because if you're People just know they just want to hear the hook and
that's it. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's my experience. I don't see people like lyrically going crazy unless it's like a Kendrick Lamar show, or J. Cole. But everybody else is just, cause they say the same shit. I got a pepper on my neck. I got a pepper on my neck. I got a pepper on my neck. They say that like 20 times. Why do I need to worry about that lyric for? If he's gonna tell me 20 times that he has a pepper on his neck, okay, I know you have a pepper. I don't have to say it then. I don't have to fucking recite it. It's not like you guys, you know, Amer knows a Wu-Tang song or a Tribe Called Quest or Jay song from like 20, 30 years ago. Like, you know the lyrics. Now, you can't tell me like what was last year's hit. Technology.
It's just too quick, isn't it?
You can't compare. I can't even give you the answer because it's two different eras. And I'm in this era now. So I'm in it. Like, that's all I do. I DJ the, like I did this festival in Canada, like 40,000 kids. That shit is like crazy. Like, that's why I'm addicted to that shit. Like, control. I'm just glad I did it with 50. I opened up for Eminem. Like, I was nervous to go and DJ for 100,000 people, but now I can do that shit with my eyes closed. I don't even use headphones. That's why Patrick be like, "Yo, where headphones?" I'm like,
he pulls up, looks at the screen, presses play, let's go.
If I do 50 Cent shows, I do 200 like 200 shows a year, and I do it like clockwork, like a robot, and it's 50,000 people. So already, I'm not nervous anymore.
Is that why?
You gone
Whoo Kid, is that why 50 curses you out on stage?
Because every time I get cursed out, it's never during the show. It's at the end of the show when he wants to do random shit. He thinks I'm a mind reader, and then he thinks I'm supposed to read what's in his head. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I mean, the one time I fucked up was on the Jay-Z tour, and then I pressed like a Ja Rule song.
That was no mistake. That was no mistake.
Yeah, that's definitely a mistake.
You gotta understand, like, when there's like 50,000 people and you fuck up and you're the DJ, you have this thing that is like, you're blind now. It's like, all you see is lights. You know the guy you're DJing for is gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, so it's like, there's horror. It's like when you see Scarface and you see like he's about to kill that homie for messing with his sister, that weird sound. Bro, I know. First of all, I know I'm about to get fucked up. So it's just like I don't see the buttons anymore. I don't see what I gotta press, and I don't see anything ahead of me. So I just go like this. It's like I close my eyes, and then I just, because seconds can feel like an hour because he wants you to play something crazy ill to make the crowd go crazy. That pressure is like something you don't ever want to experience. You black out or white out. I call it white out. You don't see nothing. You don't hear shit. And you just be so nervous, you press any button. Sometimes I press a song that we already did. P.I.M.P. we did that. P.I.M.P. be like the fucking third song. And then we're like on the 20th song. I press because I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna kill you, man. Yo, it's crazy, man. That's why I was so happy on the first sets. I was like on this really tall, like, because you have to climb up there. So 50 couldn't climb up there to kill me. So you have to wait. You have to wait till the show's over to get me like in the back. And I always escape. Like I always like get on like the golf cart. And then they everybody was like, yo, Whoo Kid's gonna get beat up. Let's put Whoo Kid in the golf cart and get him out of here. And then by the time he calmed down, then we got the next show the next day. But I always do the show perfect. Like, can you imagine, like, you do, like, a 2-hour show, like a robot, and at the end, yo, I still got hits. Keep it going. I'm like, yo, we did every fucking song. What do you want me to do? So I'm playing, like, freestyles and shit like that. And we're, like, in fucking Hungary. Like, they don't even know what the hell's a freestyle. So they don't know what the hell's going on. So now I look crazy. Kill the DJ. That's why he started with that kill the DJ shit. Kill the DJ. So it was over. Whatever. But I got fired 48 times. I never got to 50. So
you still got time, man. 50 still does shows. Yo, so Whoo Kid, man, this has been a great chat. This is the longest chat we've had the guest on for. And,
yeah, no, facts.
And I know you got...
You got a boring ass guest, man. You got fucking me, man.
Yo, the next time...
Your family...
Yo, next time get a guest on. We'll do with you and an artist, man.
All right, let's do it, man.
Yo.
Let's see what's up.
Preferably female.
No.
Not for this guy.
Yo, no,
It will not be a family show.
yo, let's get like a legend on, man. Someone like like a Snoop Dogg or someone.
You're like Chingy or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I said legend, legend.
Yo, he definitely not gonna be booking with no live bass anymore, man.
Yo, we don't book it Chingy, man. Shout out to Chingy, good peoples. But yo, so Whoo Kid, thanks, man. Thank you so much for your time. I know people can't.
Yo, where can we find you on your socials, Whoo Kid, for the listeners before we forget?
Oh, what was that?
Social media.
Where can the listeners find you on social media?
Oh, yeah, you can follow me at DJ Whoo Kid. That's DJ WHOOKID. And it's unfortunate, like where you guys is at. You gotta have like a US phone to listen to my Sirius XM shit, my Eminem channel, Shade 45. But every weekend I'm on the radio, and then my lives, I do it like once a week. So mostly Wednesdays. I do my live. I had like L Cool J recently. I had like Bob Saget.
Yo, help Fat Man
Rick
Scoop
Flair.
guy. He's trying to get LL Cool J on his show, man. And LL Cool J skipped on him.
Nah, he had him. I think he had him
I
yesterday.
worked out. Okay.
I think Fat Man Scoop had him.
Yeah, I think yesterday.
L Cool J is like a legend, man. He's like a movie star now,
He's
man.
the guy, man.
It's crazy.
But yo, so your radio show every Wednesday is live.
Yeah, every Wednesday I try my best to do a live with like an A-list, and I did Jack Harlow was my like last week, and then but usually it's always like crazy people. T.I. I always interview like people that got like millions of followers, you know. And then I had like I did one with Marshmello that was crazy, but it's always somebody that you wouldn't even believe that's on there. I'm trying to get Madonna. Madonna's gonna be I think in like two weeks and shit.
So like the reason we set this podcast up is like, because now there's no more clubs for a while. So we just want to bring in the nightclub community and kind of like bring on the DJs and the artists that kind of perform in these clubs and kind of share some stories and we do business with them and they can tell us like how we fucked up or what we did good and stuff like that. So we want to get more guests on. So Whoo Kid, do a mixtape, man. Set up a radio podcast mixtape with us. Let's get some more guests on. Yo, respect, Whoo Kid. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
You're 3 hours late, but who cares, you know?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even, you should have reminded me, man. I went like deep in Long Island to pick up some shit, and I came back. I was stuck in traffic.
All right, man, bro. Look after yourself, man. We'll speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Next one.
Stay safe, bro.
All right.
Great way.
Keep it moving.